ArenaNet doesn't know how to read the community and do trailers for them. Let's talk about it. So, lately we have gotten some, trailers for, or essentially teasers for a new expansion and what the new expansion entails, What about the maps? Got a one for that. About the refs, we got another one for that. But people didn't actually like them that much. As you can see here, there's a lot of dislikes on this here. Almost, I guess, 50%, right? And people in the comments are not really that excited. And actually, even though this one in particular, this other one in the map, from the map, actually did pretty well, you can see a lot of likes. And people in here in the comments are pretty happy with it. In the Reddit, you actually can see a lot of people not being very happy about it. And why is that? Well, because the things that ANET is showing us here, even though they do seem good, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, the views are not that bad. They show you the mechanic, they show you what what you do in the refs, they show you how the map goes, how it looks and everything, and it looks pretty nice, right? They fail at something very important, and that is, what is the community saying? What does the community want? What is the community scared of? And that thing in particular at this time is not enough content and reuse assets. Now they all go hand in hand, because you see reuse assets and you think, well, we're gonna get more content, but a lot of the content we're gonna get is actually gonna appear after the expansion. So whenever you see in this trailer something like this model that is essentially a reuse asset for Path of Fire, with a few changes, to be fair, and that's all you see in this that's all you see in this trailer, essentially you killing this and nothing else. People are not gonna be very happy about it. Same thing here. Sure, you can see that there's some new assets here, and it's kind of cool map or whatever, and it's kind of beautiful, and in here as well. But as you can see, we have Path of Fire assets there, Path of Fire assets here. Actually, I don't know if this is original or from some other part of the game. It might be from Ascalon. It does look a little bit like a heart close to Ascalon, in Ascalon, right? But it honestly could be new. I'm not completely sure. But then you see something like this. The Chagrand, obviously, essentially reuse assets. Here are Basin reuse assets, and here New Kanang assets. And honestly, personally, I don't really care. I actually find it okay to reuse assets in a way, if you're gonna get more content, of course, if you're gonna get more stuff to do, and if they can use essentially this time to make new assets. Like for example, here, all of this here is all new assets. I guess this part, it could be the light orb that you get in in Cursed Shore, but it could not be. It doesn't really matter that much. Regardless, it's still a cool ass map and it looks nice, and people actually pretty liked it. But when they show something like this, guys, what is ANET doing? They're essentially trying to show their mechanics and what they're giving us the expansion and what they think it looks cool, but then they don't really think what the community is going to think about it and what the community's problems is with it. So instead of transforming something that it could be, showing us something that it could be very cool, right? And also it looks pretty nice, they essentially make the situation worse. There's nothing wrong with doing a YouTube video about a fly-through around the map, right? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong about showing a mini teaser about what a chill champion, rift could be, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But whenever that entails showing everything that the community is afraid of, then we have a problem. ANET should have thought, okay, people are complaining about not getting enough content, people are complaining about not getting new assets, and people are complaining about using real assets. So why would you go in and do exactly what people are scared of? Use assets, with not that many new, assets for people to, right? And the same thing, and also they also said that people were also scared about rifts being essentially just bounties 2.0, and this rift video also essentially confirms that. Okay, now it's a bit of a exaggeration because we don't know if we're gonna get more, but this video essentially shows exactly that. Bounties 2.0, actually not even bounties 2.0, bounties 0.5, because to be honest, is it more fun to grab this little orb thing, use it to chase a rift around, and then get into there, casting it again, right, to open it, and then getting the bounty, okay, it honestly looks worse in that regard. The gameplay loop looks worse, and also the mechanics from these bosses look pretty simple, way simpler than what we had on bounties. Now, I agree, they guess they don't have the the bounty mechanics that are kind of boring. The range where you have to only be range, or you have to only have to be melee, that definitely sucks. But these bosses seem very, very, simple and not very engaging, not very fun. Okay, like the only attack that I saw was this one, and didn't have even a telegraph. Okay, and there might be other bosses that actually do better. I agree, it could be, but man, they need to know what the community is scared of, and essentially make videos that not only show their new expansion and what it's gonna do good, right? What's gonna be about, but also kind of, well, I guess if it actually is this way, actually say, hey guys, we know that you're scared about this. This is not gonna happen, right? Otherwise, you're essentially putting fuel on the fire for no reason. Same thing happened, actually. I don't know if it was yesterday, but a few days ago, with the Diablo 4 interview, where a few developers go in and play the game, and honestly, these are people that essentially design dungeons, art assets, all this stuff, so they actually don't really have a lot to do with how the gameplay works, but people didn't like the fact that these developers are only using the auto attack, or essentially, and not all their abilities with a random build, and they don't know, they always don't know what they're doing, right? they don't know how to play the game that well. Now, honestly, should everyone in the development side, you're gonna put them in a video doing stuff about the game and talking about the game, they probably should know what they're doing. Otherwise, people are gonna think that you guys have no idea what you're doing with your game, and that's why all the problems are there. And it might actually be the case or not, but that's what people are gonna think, okay? And of course, these people got completely obliterated by the comments, which is kind of sad, because it might actually not be their fault, right? It might actually not be their job actually designing the the actual layout of everything and how the enemies work. It might actually not be that way, right? We don't read, no, right? I guess they are, there are dungeon developers, but they may just be pulling the assets and how they essentially appear in random tiles and everything, and make sure that works well. It might actually not even be the layout of the of how the map works, right? So, but of course, because they're in a video here, everyone started shitting on them for like no reason, right? And instead of, probably, what you should do, shit on Blizzard, I guess, the entire company, instead of just these two devs, which is very, very sad. Now, of course, I think ANET actually did a bit better than this. Blizzard did way worse, but it's very interesting to me that the same problem happens in both games, where essentially, I would guess that because, you don't really have a, well, I guess we don't have a community manager, but I guess Diablo 4 has to. But on not reading the community well can result into very, very big problems that can be honestly way, you don't even have to deal with them as long as as long as you understand what the community is saying, right? And they might actually not even be right about what they're saying, but you have to be careful about what you show to them, so you don't make the fire worse. You have to not only, of course, prevent fires, but also know how to, essentially, quiet them down, essentially fixing them. And I hope that we end it after these two things, after these two videos, learns this lesson, and we don't have this happening again. I guess the expansion is coming almost next week. Actually, next week, actually. That is true. So, it is what it is. Right, big thing that just happened. Actually, ANET just showed us a new look of the new map with all of new assets. It was actually pretty cool. I think it was very awesome. Exactly what they need to do. Sadly, I don't know if it's Twitter being down or me being stupid or something. It doesn't load. I had to watch it on my phone in mobile. But go to the Guild Wars 2 status right now, to Guild Wars 2 website in Twitter, X, I'm sorry, and go get there and see the video. It's exactly what ANET needed to do. Apparently, hopefully, they learned from their mistakes on the other two videos, and they keep doing this until, the expansion comes out. And after that, of course. But here it is. Go watch it there and now. Pretty cool video. Pretty cool assets. Pretty cool map. I like it very much. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.